And another thing. You don't seem to comprehend the psychological value of a sorority. Would you please pass the butter, Father?
Who says I don't? Would you mind passing the cream, please, Dan?
Well, if you did, you wouldn't make so many derogatory statements.
Yes, cream.
Not derogatory. I was merely expressing curiosity.
Please pass the toast, Dad.
The
And the jam, Daddy.
And the well, it's right in here. Here's the jam. What is the idea? I've only had two hands.
Now, children, you'll have to wait on yourselves this morning if you're always nervous.
No, I'm not nervous, Margaret. I'm just anxious to see the result of Mr. Billings' final report, that's all.
Why? What's so urgent about it?
Well, because I stuck my neck out by demanding that Mr. Williams engage an efficiency expert. See? He just couldn't see that the entire office needed coordinating.
Oh, but that's your department, dear.
Oh, no, my department. My goodness, my department is organized for complete efficiency. It practically runs itself, you know.
What's efficiency, Daddy?
Efficiency? Well, that's doing something in the best competent possible manner.
What's confident?
Competent? Well, that's something that you kids aren't when you don't do a good job weeding the flower bed.
Well, Daddy, you said that was just plain lazy.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll discuss it later.
Well, Charles, how does the office staff feel about this efficiency drive?
Oh, all right, I guess. Of course, the new vitamin dispenser machines that Mr. Billings had installed at each water cooler, that kind of gave him a surprise.
Oh, vitamin machines, oh, Charles, you're joking.
Yeah, oh, no, and we're amazed. You'd be amazed, Margaret, how it's pepped up the office for us, too.
Well, I bet Mr. Williams didn't object to that.
Oh, no, he's sold on everything now. As a matter of fact, Margaret, you know, Mr. Williams had developed such a confidence in Mr. Billings that he's given him carte blanche to go ahead on the entire program, 100%.
It's an awful lot of authority for just one man, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, perhaps. But, of course, I was careful, you know, to select an expert I could rely on, you know. Well, I've got to get going. That report ought to be on my desk first thing this morning.
Well, now, Charles, you phone me and let me know how it's going, huh?
Yeah, all right, dear. And you know something, Margaret?
Huh?
If this thing turns out the way I think it will, I'm going to be in line for a big promotion and maybe a raise.
I could use a fur coat, and maybe I could go to Yale.
We have ranch, Dad? Yeah, with horses and cowboys and
get that.
There goes your raise, Charles, right out the window.
Yes, so long, Chuck. And out right into the wide blue yonder. All right, you kids behave yourselves now. Go right.
Okay, bye, Dad. Good luck. Bye.
You know, Mom, Dad's really a very smart guy.
You just finding that out?
You children should be very proud of your father.
Sure. Someday he's gonna be a big man.
Mean he's gonna grow some more? No, they don't mean it that way.
I mean famous.
Oh, your father's not interested in public life?
Maybe not. But according to political science, every man who's nationally famous has been a successful businessman.
That's right.
Who knows? Maybe one of these days he'll be elected councilman or something.
Then mayor, maybe.
Well, how about governor?
Oh, well, why stop there, Mom? How did it feel to be first lady of the land?
Oh, for goodness sake, no. I have a hard enough time keeping this place clean. What would I do in the White House?
Good morning, Miss Peabody. Great Caesar suspenders. Miss Peabody. Miss Peabody.
The Ruggles is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company. makers of so many good things to eat. You know, ladies, it's getting time again to treat your folks to a fruit cobbler. Now, it could be made with apples or berries, of course. But tonight, we've got good old-fashioned peach cobbler on our minds. In fact, here it comes, right out of the oven. Don't you wish you could make a peach cobbler that fast? But wait, it's not quite finished. You know, there never was a fruit pie or a cobbler that didn't taste better with good cheese. So we're opening up this package of Kraft Deluxe Slices to do a quick trick with the wonderful, sharp, Old English processed cheese inside. Now, these are the perfect processed cheese slices, you know, made, cut, and wrapped a new way by Kraft. Extra good slices that separate so easily. Just grand for sandwiches as well as desserts. You see, we've taken out only 3 slices from the package of 8. And we cut each one of these perfect slices in half diagonally, so we have 6 triangles of wonderful eating Old English to put right on top of our cobbler. Just look, each serving of that good old-fashioned peach cobbler has its own golden triangle of cheese. Say, can't you almost taste that combination? Tomorrow, get a couple of packages of these handy Kraft Deluxe processed cheese slices to enjoy with desserts and for jiffy quick sandwiches. Here is the finest slice of processed cheese you've ever had. Be sure to look for the name on the package, Kraft Deluxe processed cheese slices.
Miss Peabody, will you please... Hello? Hello, switchboard? Miss Johnson? Hello? Hello? Hello, switch... Miss John? Me? Hello? Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Ruggles.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Billings. Well, I'm glad you're here.
I make it a point to spend 84% of my morning schedule at this desk.
Oh, well, that's very nice, very nice. I tried to call you, but I couldn't seem to arouse anyone.
It's still a little early, Mr. Ruggles.
Oh.
They'll be adjourning in exactly 7 3/4 minutes.
Yeah, they adjourning? Who?
The employees. Oh, that's right. You were out of the office between the hours of 3:14 and 5:30 yesterday afternoon when I called the meeting.
Yeah, the meeting? Where?
In the rear storeroom. On account of the lower temperature and cross-ventilation, we can reasonably expect better concentration.
Oh, well, that's all very interesting, but...
At this moment, they are being advised by your Mr. Benson of my new speed-up recommendations.
Yeah, well, now, don't you think you're presuming too much, Mr. Billings? It seems to me that I should be the one to discuss the recommendations.
Well, perhaps under ordinary circumstances.
And another thing, Mr. Billings, I think that you've made quite an error here in this report. Yeah, very grave error, as a matter of fact.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Ruggles. My business is never to make errors.
Well, there's always a first for everything, you know. And I think that you'll admit that this is a dandy, really. This little section here, this little paragraph in section 4, paragraph B. It says here, well, I'll read it to you. Due to the above-mentioned conditions, I hereby recommend that the service of Mr. Charles Ruggles be terminated immediately, thereby rendering a saving to the company of some $12,000 a year.
Well, of course,
Yeah, there's more, Mr. Billings. It is further recommended that the above-mentioned employee's office be converted into storage space for mimeograph equipment and office supplies. Do you see what I mean?
Not exactly.
Well, the error. You have my name typed in here, you see?
I'm sorry,
Well,
Mr.
now,
Ruggles.
just which employee did you mean, Mr. Billings? I'll have Miss Peabody make the correction.
There'll be no corrections made.
What?
That is my recommendation.
Oh, well, now, see here, I can take a joke as well as the next guy, but, you know, this is a serious report, and it's hardly
My
time for...
dear Mr. Ruggles, I was hired by the Williams Manufacturing Company to make certain recommendations to save time and money. This I have done with absolute sincerity. You have my report, sir. My findings are complete and final.
Well, now, see here, Billings,
I'm very busy, Mr. Ruggles. Interruptions are costly.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Now, don't try to impress me with that efficiency stuff, you know.
You forget, Mr. Ruggles, efficiency is my business.
Oh, no, I haven't forgot that, but you've forgotten one thing.
Well, I hardly think so.
You've forgotten that I was the one who hired you, and by the same token, I can fire you, you know.
I've considered that possibility.
Well, then you better pack your pencil and
So I turned over a copy of my orders to Mr. Williams.
Oh, well, that's... Mr. Williams.
I read it to him last night. He found it very convincing.
Mr. Billings, I call that dirty fool.
He did, however, express regret for having to let you go.
Yeah, regrets? Is that all?
No, as a matter of fact, he asked me to attend a special board meeting tomorrow night to personally extend my recommendations.
Let me tell you something, Billings. I have been with this firm for over 15 years. I've worked day and night perfecting every detail of my department. It's a model of organization.
Ah, Mr. Ruggles, there you have it.
Yeah, what do you mean, there I have what?
With all this exceptional working conditions, why, you have become a mere figurehead, Deadwood.
Me? A figurehead? Deadwood?
I'm sorry, but...
we'll see about that. You just wait till I tell Mr. Williams what I think of him hiring a stupid, moronic, knuckle-headed...
You employed me, Mr. Ruggles.
I did. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, maybe for that I should be fired, by God.
And besides, Mr. Williams is in San Diego today and won't return until tomorrow.
I know all about that, but just wait till he gets back. We'll see who's Deadwood around here, believe me. Good morning. Who's this? Peabody? Well, where are you? Where? They put you in the stock room. Who did? Oh, Mr. Billy did, huh? Oh, I see. Yeah, I know, dear. Well, don't you worry. No, don't worry. I'll take care of everything. Yeah, I'll see about that. Okay, just take it easy. Hello? Oh, switchboard? Yeah, Miss Johnson. Oh, you're back, huh? I thought maybe they'd taken you out in the alley. Get me Mrs. Ruggles, will you please, on the phone?
Hello?
Oh, hello, dear. Margaret, I'm taking the rest of the day off, dear. I'm coming home.
Now, Charles, something's wrong. I can tell by your voice.
No, Margaret, I'm all right,
well, then
dear.
why? Are you coming home on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning?
Well, now, please, Margaret, I'd rather...
Now, Charles, don't try to hide anything from me. Now, what's the matter?
Well, all right. To make a long story short, my efficiency expert is making some sweeping recommendations.
Well, dear, isn't that what you wanted?
Yes, excepting that he's trying to sweep me right out of a job.
Oh, Charles, you're joking.
No, I'm not joking, Margaret. No, I'm not. It seems that I've organized my department into such a smooth-rolling unit that it's rolled me right into an unnecessary figurehead.
Who said that?
Yeah, Mr. Billings said that.
Well, Mr. Billings is just plain crazy. Why, Mr. Williams will laugh him out of the office.
Well, Mr. Billings had seen the report, Margaret. He didn't laugh. In fact, he's very much impressed, and he's calling a meeting tomorrow to make his final decision.
Oh, then it is serious.
Yes, it could be. Well, I'll see him in a little while, honey.
No, Charles, you stay right there.
Now, Margaret, I can't.
Now,
I'm
Charles,
so burned up.
Charles, I tell you this. Anyone who could make such a recommendation cannot be trusted. Why, he must be out of his mind. Now, Charles, you stay right there.
Margaret, why should I stay, dear?
To protect your own interest, that's why.
Yeah, but honey, you know, a thing like this could happen, you know. It just could happen.
Charles.
Yeah.
Don't worry, darling.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hello. Williams Manufacturing Company. Miss Peabody? Oh, Miss Johnson. Oh, this is Mrs. Ruggles. Well, where's Miss Peabody? In the stock room? Oh. Miss Johnson, will you please get me Mr. Billings' office? Yes, I said Mr. Billings.
And that's a picture of the Yale campus.
Yeah, but why Yale? What's the matter with UCLA?
Because Yale has tradition.
What can you do with tradition except boast about it?
Look, sis, you don't understand. There's a certain dignity about it being a Yale man. Yeah, Mom, what's up?
Now, children, I have something to say to you, and I want you to give me your undivided attention. This is a crisis in our hands.
What do you want, Mommy?
Well, no, I haven't time to explain now. But it involves us all. And I have a scheme. A scheme that will take a lot of rehearsing. So if you have plans for the rest of the day, you just cancel them. Now, Chuck, I want you to...
Golly, I wonder how much longer we'll have to wait.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm sure I'm nervous. Here they are now.
All right, children, this is it.
Okay, Mom.
Well, come right in, Mr. Billings.
Oh,
Come
thank
in.
you.
Evening, Daddy. Evening, Daddy.
Good evening, Father.
Evening, Dad.
Well, good evening, kiddies. Mr. Billings, these are my children. That's Donna and Donald and Sharon and Chuck.
Evening, Mr. Billings. Evening, Mr. Billings.
Good evening, Mr. Billings.
Evening, Mr. Billings.
Good evening.
Your hat, please, Dad.
Huh? Oh, yes.
Hut. Hut. Hut.
Mr. Billings?
Oh, yes, of course.
Huh?
Hut. Hut. Hut.
Well, thank you.
We have exactly 3 minutes to get things ready for dinner. Forward, march. Up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4.
Remarkable.
Yes, isn't it? Come in and meet Mrs. Ruggles, Mr. Billings. Oh, hello, Margaret, dear.
Good evening, Charles.
Hey. Oh, Margaret, this is Mr. Billings, our efficiency expert.
How do you do, Mr. Billings?
You're as charming, Mrs. Ruggles, as you were convincing on the telephone this morning.
Well, thank you. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. It isn't very often that I let anybody talk me into a social evening, but when you appealed to my sense of fair play, well, you were very determined.
Margaret, what's going on here?
I believe in persistence, Mr. Billings, as well as efficiency.
So I gathered by the reception committee. I very seldom meet anyone who understands my work, Mrs. Ruggles.
Margaret, what is going on?
Father?
Huh? Oh.
Mother?
Thank you.
Mr. Billings?
Oh, thank you.
Ollie.
Oh, thank you, Donna.
Ollie.
Thank you.
Ollie.
Oh, thank you.
Celery.
Thank you, Donna.
Celery.
Thank you.
Celery.
Thank you.
Cheese.
Huh? Thank you.
Cheese.
Thank you.
Cheese.
Thank you.
Dinner will be served in exactly 4 minutes.
This is absolutely astounding, Mrs. Ruggles.
No, it's just a matter of supervised training.
I suppose I'm a very lucky man, don't you think so?
Mr. Ruggles,
Yes,
you
indeed.
are a very lucky man.
Well, Mrs. Ruggles is a very good manager, you know, Mr. Billings. Of course, the whole thing is
Thank
that
you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But I haven't finished.
Dinner is served. Mr. Billings?
Charles?
Huh? Oh, yes. Margaret, what is this now? You've got to cut it out now. Tell me what it is now.
delightful dinner, Mrs. Ruggles.
Well, thank you. We'll have coffee in here. Sit here, Mr. Billings, Charles.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
This is the most amazing household I've ever seen.
Yes, isn't it?
Your pipe, Father?
Oh, thank you, son, thank you.
Right?
You smoke, Sidney?
Well, if you have a...
Cigar, sir?
Well, every detail thought of in advance.
Right?
Oh, thank you.
Coffee.
I'd give my shirt if I could establish your method in my home, Mrs.
Oh,
Ruggles.
is that so?
It's quite simple after the preliminary training.
My method works to perfection in business, but at home, well, I must confess, my house is a madhouse.
Is that? Well, you should get Mrs. Ruggles to give you some pointers.
Oh, would you?
Why, I'd be very glad to. Now, let me see. Well, for instance, the dishes. My children know that the sooner they get the dishes done, the sooner they have time for themselves.
Obviously.
You know, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the dishes are done right now.
Yeah, Margaret, I would. Do you think perhaps that you should...
I can't believe that.
Would you like to see?
Well,
Margaret.
I most certainly would.
Well,
Margaret, I
then
wouldn't
come
if I
this
were you,
way,
dear. I
Mr.
really...
Billings.
Why, they've only had about 3 minutes to...
Margaret, you can't...
Children, have you taken care of the dishes?
Yes, Mother.
All taken care of.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, no, it's simply organization. Well, shall we go back into the living room?
Yes, I'd like to hear some more about your...
All right, come on now, let's have it, let's have it. You couldn't possibly have done
See
those...
for yourself, Dad.
Huh?
All right. Everybody upstairs for further instructions in the bedroom. Up. Forward. Hard. Up, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4.
We'll be back in a moment for the conclusion of the Ruggles. Say, here's the most wonderful compliment you can pay your family or guests. A special homemade salad dressing made your own special way, just in their honor. And here's the salad oil you need for that distinctive dressing you want to make. Kraft salad oil, the most wonderful salad oil ever created for homemade dressings and fine baking. Kraft salad oil is perfect for all your dressings because it's lighter bodied. That means perfect blending with other ingredients. And it's lighter bodied because it's not just refined, it's superfined by a special process created by Kraft. Try it in those wonderful homemade salad dressings that no one else makes just like you. Use it in every baking recipe you have that calls for liquid shortening. Remember the name, Kraft salad oil. It's lighter bodied, it's superfined, it's at your grocer's now.
Billings.
Well, no, thank you. I find black coffee keeps me alert.
Oh, yes, we find that it helps us to maintain our usual household efficiency. Of cream, Charles?
No, thank you, dear. I think I'll go upstairs and have a talk with the children for a minute.
Well, don't disturb them at their studies, please.
Oh, no, I won't, dear. I'll be right back, Mrs. Thorne.
Fine. Mrs. Ruggles, I can't get over such a coordinated cooperation, such impressive routining of an entire household.
Well, thank you.
My method works perfectly in business, but at home, well, it's a madhouse. And the curious thing about it is that you never seem to lift a finger to give a command.
Well, you see, Mr. Billings, once the wheels are set in order, well, I mean, an efficiency system simply runs itself.
But there's always that first controlling motive that must function behind the scenes.
Oh, yes, of course. But that is what most people overlook.
Yes, that's worth thinking about.
Yes, indeed it is, because you see, behind every efficient operation, there is always a key figure. Even though on the surface there seems to be no purpose for it. But remove that key figure, and the system does not function properly.
Yes. Well, that seems to be very obvious when you stop to think of it.
It's sound logic.
Yes, and not only would it work in a household such as yours, but it would work equally well in business.
Especially in business.
Yes. You know, Mrs. Ruggles, you've been a revelation to me.
Really?
Really. And I must confess you've saved me from making a very serious mistake.
Oh, no, Mr. Billings, not you.
Yes, me. And I have a strong suspicion that you knew exactly what you were doing.
Well, how's the coffee holding out, Margaret? Oh, we'll have another cigar, Sidney.
Oh, no thanks, Mr. Ruggles. If you'll forgive me, I'd like to get on home. I've suddenly found it necessary to revise some reports.
Oh, is that so? Anything I can do to help?
Well, I'm afraid not, but I would appreciate your being there first thing in the morning to go over them with me.
Well, but...
Before I resubmit them to Mr. Williams and the boys.
Well, but by tomorrow morning, my office will be...
Will be functioning with its usual efficiency, I hope, and with you as the necessary and permanent motivating force.
Well, I don't know now. I'll have to think about that under the circumstances.
Of course, my report will naturally recommend a substantial raise in salary.
Yes, no, raise in salary? I'll still have to think about it, Mr. Billings.
Oh, very well, Mr. Ruggles, but I hope I'll get your decision by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And, Mrs. Ruggles?
Yes.
I hope you'll use your influence.
I'll do my best.
Thank you. Good night, Mrs. Ruggles.
Good night, Mr. Billings.
And I'll get your hat.
Your hat, Mr. Billings.
Up, up, up.
It's way down there. Yes. Well?
Good night, Mr. Billings, and come again.
Amazing. Positively amazing.
Yeah. Well, good night, Mr. Billings. Thanks for coming. Yes, I'll see you in the morning. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Boy, am I glad that was.
Yes, sir. That was really a strain, wasn't it? Come in the other room. I want to talk to you guys. Margaret?
Well, Charles?
Of all the silly, preposterous, unnecessary schemes, this was the goofiest.
But it worked.
It worked. It surely worked, and thanks to you, honey. Yeah, and thanks to the whole family, and I just want to say right now that I think you're the most wonderful family that a man ever had.
Well, thank you, and a substantial raise.
Yeah, a raise, yeah. Well, don't worry.
If he's going to get a raise, don't you now shut you
Now, what are you whispering about now?
Well, it's about a point of finance, Dad.
About what, finance?
Yeah, seeing that you are receiving a substantial raise, we think that this is a proper moment to speak to you.
Oh, what about?
Our allowance.
Well, we feel that we also should be in line for a substantial raise.
Yeah, on the kind of high cost of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, like
I see.
sundaes and
Well,
ice
now,
cream
wait a
and
minute.
bubble
Now,
gum
wait,
and-
kids. Now, there's a certain reason why I can't do that, you see, because there's a man that comes at the... yeah, okay, you can have it. Hi, Charlie. You see, Margaret, you can't win.
Preceding program, originally telecast by ABC in Hollywood, has come to you by special video recording. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.